Welcome to Global Trade Forum, a knowledge sharing and cooperation platform of global thought leaders. Under our GTF interview series, we strive to foster a conducive environment for international trade by engaging with policymakers, business leaders, and civil society actors to advocate fair and sustainable trade policies within the global trade industry. In light of our mission promoting sustainable trade, today's distinguished guest is retired Ambassador James Jeffrey from United States, who had been served in the highest decision-making level of decision-making process of United States. Welcome, Ambassador.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me on. And I'd like to thank Global Trade Forum for this opportunity to speak about these important subjects.
It's an also honor for us. Mr. Ambassador, I would like to ask about, first of all, about your career. What inspired you to pursue your current career path, and how did you get started?
Well, I studied international relations at the university. I was in the U.S. Army for 7 years, with service in Germany and in Vietnam during the Cold War. And that, of course, gave me constant upfront exposure to the realities of foreign policy abroad. And when I saw that there was this opportunity to take an exam to compete for the American Diplomatic Service, I, as we say, leaped at the chance, and I was very fortunate to be selected. So here I am, 50 years later.
Very, very fascinated. Mr. Ambassador, I want to start with a global perspective. And as we delve into the issues, I will also go with the regional questions as well. So in the context of evolving Turkey-US partnership, how do you assess Turkey's position as a regional actor in global supply chains to ensure the resiliency of global supply chains in the times of US-China trade war? And maybe I would like to also hear about your thoughts regarding China's Belt Road Initiative.
Well, China's Belt Road Initiative, now looking back for almost a decade, there's less than meets the eye. I don't want to play down China's extraordinary role in the global economy. It is absolutely important, and no country, not the United States, not Turkey, can divorce itself from trade with China. But nonetheless, the investments made under the Belt and Road program are statist. They did not serve the interests of the individual host countries. In many cases, they saddled these countries with a lot of unnecessary debt for projects that are too controlled by China. Again, there's no substitute, as Turkey knows, because of your highly effective, large, and healthy entrepreneurial private business sector. There is no alternative to the private business sector for making smart investment decisions that will generate return on investment. The Chinese have not cracked this code in the Belt and Road Initiative. They, of course, have firms that can function well in the market world, but those firms are not in the lead in the Belt and Road Initiative. This is very much a top-down, made in Beijing approach. It's not all that successful. That said, Turkey, given its geographic position, its control of the Bosphorus, and thus the flow of trade from much of Eurasia into the Aegean, Mediterranean, and out into the Atlantic and down through the Suez Canal to the Pacific, is playing a crucial role. The other thing is, Turkey, with its very close relationship with Azerbaijan, which then is plugged into one branch of the Belt and Road through Central Asia, where Turkey has ethnic, linguistic, and foreign policy interests. That's also of some interest. And all in all, I would encourage Turkey to continue working with the Chinese to develop these areas while also maintaining, as Turkey has done so well in its gas imports, maintaining diversity and options in all of your investment and trade decisions. That's crucially important. Be the partner of the European Union, be the partner Russia, be the partner China.
At that point, maybe it is also important to remind Turkey's economic policies, because Turkey's competitiveness in global markets directly relates to its economic policies. Therefore, I want to underline some of the critical parameters that describe Turkey's current context. If I'm not mistaken, according to official numbers, the estimated inflation was around 60% last year. And some other independent organizations also calculated the same number above 100%. And as you may know also, yet the Central Bank of Turkey keeps cutting interest rates. As a senior diplomat who served in the Middle East for many years, how do you see the future of Turkey's economic policy of low interest rate with high inflation?
First of all, I think under the new leadership named in the current cabinet, that you will see a change in this policy. We have worked with some of these economic figures before, including newly named Minister Shimshek. I think that there will be a major effort to apply what I would call conventional, proven monetary and financial tools to get inflation down. This is important for several reasons. Turkey's health is based upon its current account and its ability to export roughly as much as it imports. That's always been a problem with Turkey, but this problem is compounded in various ways when you have high inflation. And the impact on the citizenry and on economic decision making by the private sector, which is the motor. I underline this, the motor of the Turkish economy is really deleterious. And it is very important for Turkey to continue its astonishingly successful economic growth over the past 20 years to get inflation and to get monetary policy and to get the trade balance all under control.
Mr. Ambassador, as like in economic policies, in Turkish foreign policy, there could be unexpected axis shifts due to geopolitical factors, spanning from Syria issue to Ukraine. For instance, as we maybe remember from the 2015, when Turkey shut down Russian fighter jet on Syrian border, I clearly remember that these days, Turkey's high dependency on Russian gas vastly discussed in the Turkish media and policy communities. And since then, Turkey's Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources significantly increased its LNG capacity as well as its infrastructure, LNG infrastructure, which also opens a gateway to more LNG contracts ranging from Algeria, Nigeria, United States. So nowadays, oil prices are also going up. Given the recent economic context in the energy markets, how do you evaluate Turkey-US energy trade partnership in the future?
Well, first of all, as you said, Turkey did exactly what Germany did not do over the last decade, which is to invest in diversification primarily through LNG. With those partners, we're very proud of the role we're playing. Egypt is also coming on stream. And of course, Turkey has discovered significant amounts of natural gas in the Black Sea. So I think with all of that, as well as, even though it is tied to Russia, the new atomic energy plant will give Turkey far better control over its energy imports and its energy policy. And this is crucial because normally when you look at the current account deficit of Turkey, it's roughly equivalent to its imports of energy because Turkey provides for itself, other than minor amounts of oil and some coal, no energy. Now with a nuclear plant and with its Black Sea discoveries, Turkey can reduce that import burden. That is really significant in the longer term for its general economic health. So I think that Turkey is on the right path on energy right now.
In this context, I would like to ask a follow-up question. How do you see the communication and diplomatic channels through energy for possible energy investments between Turkey and Turkmenistan?
That's been one of those issues that I've followed for over a decade, along with the other big factor that would really produce in Turkey an energy hub for Eurasia, which would be more gas and oil out of Iraq. Both Iraq and Turkmenistan have extraordinary amounts of natural gas as well as very high holdings of oil, especially in the case of Iraq. And both Turkmenistan, with most of its exports directed towards the east across Central Asia towards China, and in the case of Iraq, most of its exports directed through the Gulf. These are not, in the long run, geostrategically secure ways to get your energy out. Diversification is important, not just for importers, as I just mentioned with Turkey, it's also important for exporters. So therefore, given the reality of huge quantities of gas and oil in these two areas, and B, the geostrategic necessity of diversification, the only smart place to diversify is through Turkey. Thus, in principle, that is an extraordinarily important policy. And we have seen from the Baku-Ceyhan pipeline to the several pipelines from Azerbaijan, steps in that direction. But these problems have been hanging fire now for the better part of a decade, both with Turkmenistan and with Iraq and the Iraq situation. Things are getting worse with these judicial decisions and court actions against northern Iraq exports into Turkey. That's the problem, is diplomacy. But if Turkey, with its extraordinary diplomatic skills and its recent success in making or regaining our friends in the region, can apply that diplomatic skill in the furthering of this energy policy, then I think Turkmenistan, Iraqi gas, and gas from other sources could really be part of the energy hub future of Turkey.
Thank you all for this comprehensive analysis. I would like to also a little bit talk about defense sector because defense and energy are so important in terms of bolstering the relations between Turkey and United States. So, as you know, that there is a NATO summit in July.
Right.
And I want to ask actually a special question, which creates a curiosity in Turkey's defense sector and contractors. When we consider the threats posed by Iran and Russia in the Middle East, Turkey's air capabilities play a crucial role in providing full support to transatlantic allies through NATO's air patrols and also ensuring regional stability. So, in light of this, do you believe that, Mr. Ambassador, the NATO Vilnius summit in June could potentially facilitate Turkey's acquisition of F-16s?
I'm very optimistic. Of course, the U.S. Senate, and President Biden spoke with President Erdogan about this reality earlier this week. The U.S. Senate has linked, or 31 senators, which is a critical mass, has linked that sale of F-16s, which formally has been submitted by the U.S. government to Congress, and it's a major sale of some $6 billion, linked to Turkey giving a green light not just to Finland, but also to Sweden's NATO admission. Now, this is going to be a major issue at the Vilnius summit. There is some gentle pressure on President Erdogan to move forward on this. Sweden has taken a number of steps, but in the end, there is a memorandum between Sweden and Turkey, and the Turkish government will decide whether that memorandum has been met by Sweden. But it is an important issue. And of course, the United States, for good reason, is urging Turkey to work with Sweden on the final steps. We just had NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg there in Ankara to talk to President Erdogan on the margins of his inauguration. And we're going to have new talks between Finland, Turkey, and Sweden in the coming days. This is all positive, but it is very, very important for the reasons you said, not just to firm up NATO against Russia, but also to give Turkey the military capability to continue playing this crucial role in a huge area from Iraq and Syria all the way deep into the Caucasus and deep into the Black Sea region. as well as even into the Balkans. Turkey has just announced that it will be sending a commando unit to Kosovo to deal with the tensions there. This again shows across the board, from NATO's nuclear programs to NATO's anti-ballistic missile defense against Iran, the cruciality and importance of Turkey for the entire alliance. So let's get moving on the Swedish thing, and let's get moving with the US Senate on the F-16s.
As a follow-up question for that issue, how do you see the dynamics in Congress regarding the acquisition of F-16s?
The dynamics are quite positive if Turkey goes forward with Sweden. Without it, there is no chance. Now, there will always be those in Congress who, under pressure from domestic lobbies, will act against Turkey-American relations, regardless of how good they are or what Turkey does or doesn't do. But it's President Biden's job, and I'm sure by calling President Erdogan, he signaled his readiness to do so, that if Turkey meets our minimum needs, which is related to Sweden, I'm pretty sure that President Biden will exercise the necessary leadership, which we have just seen in our debt ceiling legislation. There's necessary leadership to get this across the finish line.
At Global Trade Forum today, we hosted Ambassador James Jeffrey. We would like to thank him again for sharing time with us. We have discussed many issues from energy security to defense. Mr. Ambassador, do you have anything to add?
No, I would just wish Turkey all of its success. First of all, recovering from the earthquake, Geçmiş olsun, to continue its against inflation and continue playing the extraordinarily important role it does throughout Eurasia, keeping energy flowing, containing both Iran and Russia, and being an important player in NATO.
Thank you so much. I totally agree.
Okay.